Okay, this used to be the best XP farm ever, but after gold farms were nerfed, it has turned into a glorious monument to the past. This design was perfected on a single-player game before the wipe in December, and after the wipe, it took me 2 days to build using lava buckets and water buckets, both the base and the 2 portal matrices. Each side had 14 portals, and the pigs would spawn, fall onto the platform underneath, get pushed to the center into the high-capacity mob elevator, and brought up to either be, well, originally it was just the mob farm. I added this secondary switch later so that they could be directed to a kill zone over here. They drop out of this thing. As you can tell, I'm using a non-default skin. A non-default texture pack, actually. It is Sortex Fanver, which is pretty incredible. Hard to tell that all of this is glass because it's contiguous, but, you know, it's alright. There is a hopper chain down the center of the platform towards the end here with the chest that would catch any stray items and shunt them to this location. The kill zone for the automatic part of the farm would sort out the zombie flesh from the gold and drop the zombie flesh into a lava block while sending the gold via a hopper pipe to the chest. It was very efficient. It was efficient, as I said, as a XP farm. I have lots of books now and this bunch of chests. That was the first thing I built after the wipe. The second thing was the iron farm. This is a modified version of the one I had originally. I rebuilt it to improve its performance and such. It has 2 platforms. The lava block at each hole is there to prevent traffic jams from slowing up the mechanism. Sometimes 2 golems would spawn and collide with each other and not go down to the kill zone. The golems would die here, and the sorter would sort their iron out into, or the drops out into iron and the poppies. And with all that iron, I was easily able to make a nice bank of beacons that have a control of whether or not they're active, which is nice for planting stuff in my underground farms. Now, this is where I'd put my cows, if I had any, and storage. This is a furnace unit that is capable of cooking massive amounts of stuff without any human interaction. I use lava buckets to cook stacks upon stacks of stone and glass. Let's see. Second level farms, underground tree farm, automatic wheat farm where I can press this button and then water will pick all of the wheat for me. Quick collection of it all. Quick way to get rid of the pumpkins and pick them up is just hit the switches. And cut the grass. Now, the reason I built the thing here was because it's in a slime chunk bank. This is my slime farm. It is 5 chunks, 5 contiguous slime chunks. Slimes spawn on the platforms and wander into the river that's on every side. And they will end up here, where a drowning trap will drown them and kill off the little slimes and collect them into this huge bank of chests. And I have quite a lot of slime in here. Let's see. I placed my store here for dramatic effect. Not as impressive as my original store before the wipe, but it's serviceable enough. Another thing I have is a zombie farm. This is light controlled. The zombies all get spawned when the lights go off and fall into a river, up the elevator, and then down to the kill zone with barely any life. I have a sorter here once again to filter out the smalls, kill the children in the lava because I don't want to deal with them. There's one right there. He gets in the way and jams up things, but in this situation, he doesn't. Sad. This is an emergency kill switch, just in case things get too crazy in the kill zone. I can just barbecue all the zombies, and it's fine. All right. Quick look at my blaze farm. Not too impressive. Just a bunch of rows where blazes can spawn. Just go down the rows and kill them and then get their stuff. It's pretty safe. Probably not the best design, but it's serviceable enough. I have 2 XP farms, each with 2 cave spiders spawners that I rent out. And I try to make them look as elegant as possible. Each of them have a beacon for strength 2. And they're quite efficient. Having the spiders just come right all in here and to the kill zone. This is my primary farm. All of the spider stuff gets sorted into these things. Underneath there is a overflow valve that will burn up any overflowing item in a lava block. But that's the first farm. Pretty extravagant. Used some colored clay. Supports a full enchanting table and anvil. And the second one. Less fancy, but is much newer than the primary. And this here is my attempt to make a natural witch farm. This is the platform which they would fall upon and die. their items getting, or their drops getting sorted into these chests. This is the place where you could AFK to actually get them to spawn, and this is the spawning platforms themselves. They are built precisely on top of what used to be a witch hut. Only witches can spawn there. They're kept in total darkness by the sky shade. And everything around is lit up in order to promote spawning of witches on those platforms. It's not very effective though, because this is a multiplayer server with a decreased spawn rate, or at least spawns are happening other places and causing this particular area to be rather dry. It does work somewhat, but it's not that impressive. It's pretty impressive that I dug out this entire sponge area all the way to the bedrock. I used a haste 2 beacon to enable that, but it was a pain in the butt and definitely not worth it in retrospect. But I did it just to say I could. And I mainly play on the SMP server nowadays, but I did play on factions for a little bit. And this used to be my base. It was a glorious base before I went on vacation for a week. And in that week I was able to be removed from my guild or faction automatically, and then children were given the reins, and this was the result shortly thereafter. They took TNT and blew the whole thing to hell. It was very impressive when I logged back in, I have to tell you that. I spent so much time building this matrix of obsidian, and it was to protect some very precious spawners. There was a triple cave spider spawner XP farm here, and it was really good. If I ever were to come back to factions, they would have to increase the faction timeout time to be something or in the order of 2 or 3 weeks, I'd assume, at least. But anyway, that is a long tour of my properties. Thanks for watching.